Hi guys, it's Carol. Uh, I'm just worn out. It's almost 7 o'clock. I had my grandkids from after school yesterday till not too long ago, and I'm just tired. Uh, but I told you guys my brother went into hospice today, and some subs asked when did I last see him. I'm so tired I don't even remember what else, but anyway, so I thought I'd try to explain about my brother, which is kind of difficult because all of my family but me is really private. There's a blanket behind me. Um, and this is YouTube, but this channel is about my life, so I'll see how far I can tell you about my life without telling you about their life. um, I've told you before, Toby's trying to mess up the couch cushions. Oh, there's Timmy. He says, Mama talking on that thing again. I better come say hi. Can you say hi? Yeah? You're such a good boy. Where was I? Oh, I told you we came from a really dysfunctional family. They're sticking up.
Timmy, no.
Andy, my daughter's dog, is here, and
Let's go home. I'll take him home.
my Yorkie, no, just go in there for just a second. My Yorkie, or put Timmy in the crate. My Yorkie, Timmy, is getting his surgery on the 19th. It cannot come a day too soon for us. Timmy has decided that Andy, the boy beagle, is his girlfriend. He loves Andy, and he wants to be by Andy and drive Andy and the rest of us crazy. But anyway, we're counting the days till the 19th. Hope that fixes a lot of things with Timmy. But anyway, we came from a dysfunctional family. My mother was married at a real young age. Her mother had cancer and died when my mom was in her early teenage years. I think she was 12 or 14 when her mother was diagnosed with cancer and died shortly, I believe. But anyway, my mother, I think, got married by the time she was 18. Her dad had remarried somebody who did not want his kids, and my mom and her younger sister were the ones still left at home. And that was during the Depression. And anyway, my mom probably married the first chance she got, I gather. I don't know. My mom didn't talk a whole lot about stuff, but anyway, married, and then she had a little boy, and that's my brother. Then they divorced, and she had lived in down in Texas, and she moved to New Mexico, where her sister lived, and eventually met my dad and got married and had my sister and then had me. My sister, my brother, and I were all 8 years apart. And my dad, I told you he came home from the war and he was terribly mentally ill and violent, and why she stayed, I don't know. It was not good for my brother to have him as a stepfather. Not good. Anyway, so my brother took all he could take and moved out on his own when he was 16 and finished high school, went off to college for a year, then he joined the Navy to see the world. and never had a very good relationship really with my mom. She didn't have a chance from the get-go, but she was horribly critical about everything, and I'm sure he resented her because she didn't protect him when he needed to be protected. I resent her. All my life I've said she did the best she could, and that is 50-50. Yes, she did the best she could, and 50-50 because I want to believe she did the best she could, but I don't care what happens. You protect your kids. You don't just stand by and let things happen. But anyway, so my brother left as soon as he could, and that's pretty much the last we saw of him. Like I told you, I wrote him letters, and I saw him several times during my life. When I was in the 6th grade, I just loved going to school, and I loved learning, and my best friend's parents bought her a set of encyclopedias, World Book encyclopedias. I wanted a set of encyclopedias. I mean, when I found out you could have a set of encyclopedias at your own house, oh man, I wanted those. And of course, there was no way on earth my mom could have gotten me a set of encyclopedias, but my brother did. When I was in the 6th grade, for Christmas that year, he got me a set of World Book encyclopedias. He probably couldn't afford them either, but he always did things like that. When I was when he was in the Navy, he would send me boxes of things. He was stationed in Japan. I don't remember where else, but he would send boxes of all kinds of little things. To this day, I like boxes of all kinds of little things, like the box Patty sent me, because that's what my brother used to do. And when I was real little, he bought me a swing set, which was good for me because I was home virtually by myself all the time, and that gave me something to do outside. It was just me and my dog mostly. Yeah, that's why I like dogs too, because my first friend was a dog. A dog raised me. And then when I was about in the 5th grade, he bought me a bicycle. And then after the encyclopedias, he got married and had 5 kids, and that was kind of the last. He had a new life. That was kind of the last we saw of him. But anyway, he was the nicest man to me ever. But my sister and I understood why he got out of there as quick as he could and never looked back, because we did not blame him a bit. But anyway, so we have led one life. He has made another life for himself, and a very good life. He worked in finance all his life after he got out of the Navy, and he was president of a bank, and married into a family that was like a normal family. And after he got married, I saw him once. He took me on vacation with him and his family one time, and that was just awesome. That was the first vacation, only vacation I had as a kid. But no, that's not true. That was the second vacation I had. We went to see an aunt and uncle one time. That was in the 7th grade, I guess, when I went on vacation with him and his family. His wife had 3 children, so he had a ready-made family, and then they had 2 more. And then I saw him my senior year. He came home for Christmas and brought his family, but it was just to spend Christmas, but he was just there a couple of hours, and my mother exploded over something, and so he packed up his family and left. And then after that, I didn't see him again till I was married, and my husband and I were going somewhere, and we went through the state where he lived. We were going on our way to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, And so we were driving all the way across the country, and we went through the state where he lived, and I called to see if I could come visit him, and we went and visited him for about an hour. And then after that, he came to visit probably about 10 years later. He came for a very short visit. It was his high school's 50th anniversary reunion, I think. That's what he came for. And then I saw him at my mom's funeral in 92. And that's the last time I've seen him. Didn't hear from him all those years after the time he left at Christmas, when he was just, they came for spend, they were going to spend days and they spent hours. We virtually had no contact with him after that explosion, which was not his fault at all, or his family's. It was the dysfunctional house we all grew up in. But anyway, didn't have any contact with him until about, I can't remember, 5, 6, 7 years ago. He had colon cancer, and he contacted my sister and me. And from that point on, my sister and I have emailed back and forth with him, not very often, just every couple of months maybe. And he asked me, he was very supportive to me. One time I was trying really hard to lose some weight. And so I set up a Facebook page that was just about me losing this weight. And I would take a picture of the scale all the time and stuff. And he was very, very encouraging to me and supportive about that, because he has had a constant lifelong battle with trying to lose weight. And then he asked me to play Words with Friends with him, and that is what we've done on a daily basis for 5 or 6 years. So that's been fun. I mean, we just play back and forth, but other than the email we exchange every, maybe 4 times a year, that's all the contact I have with him. But anyway, that's the last time I've seen him. That basically that story of why we're such a crazy family that has no contact really. But he tells me he loves me every time he emails me. And I've known about his cancer since the colon cancer, and then you know how cancer does, it just spreads from one place to the other, and he's been fighting it really hard for years, but now he's in hospice. But anyway, I won't be going to the funeral. My sister won't go to the funeral. The rest of his relatives on our side of the, he doesn't have any contact with his birth father or in that family at all, never has. And on his mother's side, the head doesn't have any contact with anybody. He's got just me, my sister, and my sister's kids, and my kids. I'm sorry, my nose itches. But, we don't know each other. And my sister and I talked about it, and her kids and my kids have offered to help get money together. We knew months ago that this time was going to be probably the last battle. Our kids told us both that they would help us get money together to go to the funeral. My daughter and my sister's daughter said that they would go with us, but we're not going to. And that's just the way it is. My sister emailed him in July when I started this YouTube channel and told him that I was having this YouTube channel about my life. And he nor any of his 5 kids, and I forgot how many grandkids and great-grandkids he has. He's got a big family. None of them, to my knowledge, have ever watched any of my YouTubes. I went through, last night I went through and made a list of every single person who's ever made a comment. And that's going to be a video. You guys are great. But none of them are a name of any of his family. So I took that to mean that they aren't interested, and that's fine. I understand. But my sister and I would be very uncomfortable going to his funeral because he's lived in this little town where he lives for 50 years at least, and we've never once been there. And so now we're going to show up as the grieving family when we've never visited him before. No, we're not going to do that. You know, everybody would say, who the heck are these people? No, we will not be doing that. His family and our families live a totally different lifestyle. You know, I live in low-income housing. I no longer have a car because I can't afford one. I haven't been able to travel or anything. Toby, stop. He and his family have traveled all over the United States and Europe multiple times. His son collects cars. He has a Bentley and a Rolls that I know of. You know, he has a Rolls and a Bentley and some other extravagant cars, and I have no car. I couldn't even afford clothes to wear to go to feel like I might fit in. I could not, and neither could my sister. And it would just be too weird to go to a funeral and be there in his town with all these people, and they don't know who we are, and we don't know who they are. I mean, we know names, but we couldn't put a face to the name, you know. It's just, there's just too much water under the bridge. And my sister and I wouldn't do anything under the sun to embarrass him, and I really believe would be an embarrassment just because we're not in the same circles. You understand? What I've always told everybody is, I love the royal family. I do. I watch them all the time. I tell people it would be like I'm Thomas Markle going to visit the Queen. You know, it's just, that's just how it is. So, because this is a channel about my life and a diary for my grandchildren, and because I want to keep it real, Toby is just full of vinegar. He's getting my daughter, not he wants her to play. Because it's my life, I wanted a diary for my grandchildren to know about their grandmother, and someday somebody can say, why didn't they go to his funeral? Well, because it's somebody we don't know. They don't know us. We are not in the same, you know, our families are too different. And it's not the time to suddenly show up and be the grieving family. It's not. So anyway, that's that story. I have a sub. You know, I told you it's a small world. I found out one of my subs lives in this teeny tiny town. Of all the teeny tiny towns in the United States, I have a sub that lives there. She has told me that she will send me the obituary. And I'm assuming that somebody from his family will let us know, but that's not a guarantee at all. His wife has dementia, and I don't even know that the kids he would even know how to contact us. So when he's still playing Words with Friends with me today, and when he no longer shows up to play Words with Friends, I will let my sub know to start watching the newspaper for me for the obituary. And my sister and I are very, very, very grateful that we will be able to have her send us the obituary. You know, the Lord works in mysterious ways. But my sister and I tell him we love him in every video, in every email we send him. He does the same. We were as close as we can be without stirring up too many horrible memories that are best left buried. Do you understand? So, and it doesn't matter if you understand. I'm just telling you this is how it is. So don't ask me if I went to the funeral, because no, I did not. But what I tell my sister is, I know that this is only one piece of the puzzle. I know that when this body dies, we go somewhere else, and we will have the opportunity to be a family with him then. This is not it. This is not just it. There's more to life, and we will have that opportunity. So it's not over till the fat lady sings. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow about my subs, about you. So see me tomorrow, okay? Bye.